Chandranil Banerjee, Director General CII, Shri Amit Khanna, Shri Uday Shankar, Mr. Andy Kaplan, Mr. Ronnie Screwwala, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am both delighted and privileged to be here to participate in CII's India, the Big Picture Summit. The summit, one can clearly note, has a very comprehensive and contemporary agenda that demands intensive and extensive deliberations and discussions. And looking at the cross-section of participation, the summit seems all set to realize its objectives in full measure. I very warmly and sincerely compliment CII for this enormously useful and timely initiative. I also bring to you the greetings and felicitations from Mrs. Ambika Soni, who ordinarily would have been here but for this reshuffle, and also our new minister, Shri Manish Tiwari, for this initiative and their good wishes for its overwhelming success. The media and entertainment sector has been growing at most encouraging rates for over 2 decades now, and is all set to continue the trend, even better it in some sectors. The CII PwC report confirms this trend, predicting a 17% growth in next 5 years. As I stand before you, a quiet revolution is unfolding in the broadcasting sector, as we are just a few days away from complete digital switchover from the analog cable television network to digital cable television network in the 4 metro cities of India. We have tried to ensure that this digital transition happens smoothly and with minimal hassles. We will like to believe that history will remember this transition as something that changed the face of the Indian broadcasting industry forever. This transformation, we all agree, will bring in rich dividends for the entire broadcasting industry, government, and most prominently to the people of this country. As I speak to you, Mumbai has nearly achieved 100% digitization. There could be some pockets where it has not been completed fully, while Delhi and Calcutta are not far behind at roughly 88-89% in Delhi and roughly 83-85% in Kolkata. The multi-system operators have informed us that they are currently installing at an average of 50 to 60,000 set-top boxes every day. On last Friday, more than 81,000 set-top boxes were seeded in one day. By all accounts, digitizations will indeed be a reality in a few days. Ministry has also launched a very aggressive public campaign to reach out to every person in these 4 metro cities to ensure that no one remains unaware of this monumental change. In recent history, this has been one of the most successful public campaigns spanning print, television, radio, outdoor publicity, cinema, and SMSs. Our teams have been going to the field and visiting digital headends, meeting with MSOs, cable operators, and the consumers in the field to do a reality check. The control room set by the ministry for this purpose has been receiving hundreds of telephone calls from the common people seeking information and guidance. I take this opportunity to thank all stakeholders without whose support this mammoth task could not have been undertaken. We have, of course, faced a plethora of challenges along the way, as this is something which has never been attempted at such a large scale in our country, or for that matter, in any other country. However, we have been able to handle these challenges well and will continue to handle them. Your support and cooperation, we are sure, will make us overcome all hurdles. The recent liberalization of FDI norms in the broadcasting distribution platforms, we are convinced, would be another game changer for the industry. The policy now allows a uniform FDI limit of 74% for all carrier services such as DTH, IPTV, mobile TV, hits, and teleport services. In case of cable sector, for all MSOs and cable operators who take up DAS, the FDI limits of 74% would be allowed. This policy change should encourage flow of investment for further expansion of broadcasting industry in the country. We must now seriously begin working towards developing India as the teleport hub of the world. We have today 89 permitted teleports in the country. TRAI, in its recommendations on policy issues relating to uplinking, downlinking of television channels in India, has also recommended that India should be developed as a teleport hub to allow turnaround of uplinking of channels from India, keeping in view the geographical location of India and cheaper manpower. This initiative will bring in foreign investment, better technology, and sustainable employment opportunities. This would place India in the league of countries like Hong Kong and Singapore. The ministry has already started working on a policy framework that will actualize this dream. We propose to organize an industry consultation very soon to discuss a roadmap in this regard. We are also well on our way to auction 839 new FM radio stations across 290 towns and cities of the country. A few issues that needed clarity are likely to be considered and decided by an empowered GOM very soon, and we hope to complete the auction of the first tranche of these 839 FM stations by the end of this financial year. This should be another landmark event towards the expansion of media sector. However, as we march towards an era of growth and development, we also come across discordant notes and voices of pessimism, even cynicism. To all those naysayers, I would like to remind of what Brutus had said in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, and I quote, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyages of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures." I would most sincerely like to believe that all of us here are committed to ride this tide that takes us to a new, higher orbit of growth and prosperity. Public broadcasting and its role has undergone a great deal of change in the last 2 decades. In the current scenario, its place and orientation both require re-scripting and restructuring. The recent decisions on the financial restructuring of Prasar Bharati and allowing them to recruit fresh blood should help it regain its position of salience and eminence in the national broadcasting milieu. The ministry is ensuring that both Doordarshan and All India Radio are provided with greatly enhanced resources for digitization and upgradation of technologies and content, including expansion of Doordarshan's DD Direct plus DTS services and conversion of analog terrestrial transmission to digital terrestrial transmission. Let me now very quickly and briefly mention some of our initiatives related to cinema. To celebrate 100 years of the cinemas of India, we propose to organize, in collaboration with our film industry, a host of activities this year. We propose to present a tableau on 100 years of Indian cinema during the Public Day Parade in 2013. And if we could persuade the stalwarts of the film industry to join the tableau by walking down the Rajpath that day, it will make this Republic Day the most memorable and perhaps the most glamorous in the history of our republic, the memories of which may perhaps linger in the minds of the people for a very, very long time. Since the introduction of motion pictures in India, the country has produced more than 40,000 films. In addition, at present, about 900 short films and documentaries are made in India annually. However, a substantial portion of this Indian film heritage is lost for posterity each year due to the absence of effective and efficient preservation and archival practices. To safeguard and salvage our celluloid history, we are setting up a National Film Heritage Mission with the objective of undertaking frame-by-frame picture and sound restoration of more than 2,500 films that are an important component of India's film history. In addition, the mission will, with a budget of rupees 400 crores, would also look to constructing preservation vaults to international standards for achieving this, for archiving this restored material, and for conducting workshops and training to further contribute to the process of restoration, preservation, and archiving. The adverse impact of piracy on the growth of the film industry has been discussed and debated in detail and at length over the years and needs no repetition. While there is an urgent need to have an effective legal mechanism in place to combat piracy, there is also a compelling need to create public awareness about the effects of piracy on the economy amongst consumers. We therefore propose to carry out an all-encompassing multimedia campaign during the 12-plan period involving all stakeholders from the film and music industries. The ministry will provide assistance to training programs and workshops to sensitize police, judicial and administrative officials about the Copyright Act. In addition, we will aim at facilitating research on the effects of piracy as well as the development and implementation of public-private strategies to combat piracy. An oft-mentioned impediment to shooting films on locations in India, both for Indian and foreign film productions, is the requirement of multiple on-ground permissions and clearances. While there is no empirical data to illustrate the resulting loss of potential revenues to the film, tourism and ancillary sectors, there is unanimity that it's of a very high order. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, therefore, in close cooperation with other concerned ministries, is in process of setting up a film commission or a film promotion board that shall enable the institution of a single window clearance system for film shooting in India. In this context, our ministry and Ministry of Tourism have recently signed an MOU to work together towards promoting India as a global film shooting destination. To give impetus to animation, gaming and VFX industry, we are well on our way to set up a center of excellence on animation, gaming and VFX that will produce technical professionals to cater to the need of high-end human resources and IPR creation. It will be a public-private initiative and we hope to begin the work before the end of this financial year at Mohali near Chandigarh. Speaking of human resources, we are fully conscious of the needs for upgrading the knowledge and skill sets of future generations that will be entering this sector. We are therefore redoubling our efforts to have the FTII, the SRFTI, and the Indian Institute of Mass Communication declared institutions of national importance through Acts of Parliament that would give them degree granting powers in their fields and also help both widen and deepen their courses of instruction and training. The IMC is also expanding its reach to the four corners of the country. Two new IMMC regional centers commenced operations in Mizoram and Maharashtra last year, and while two more centers have become operational in Jammu and Kottayam this year. My ministry fully realizes and recognizes the relevance and necessity of using social media in disseminating information. Earlier this month, the ministry has quietly launched its own YouTube channel, and I'm happy to inform you that its content and structure has attracted the attention of social media enthusiasts and has, in addition to getting a large number of hits, received extremely encouraging media reports and editorials. We propose to strengthen this endeavor and launch a few more initiatives to fully harness the potential of social media. Let me conclude by stating that I deem that the present phase of the growth of the broadcasting, media and information industry as one of great excitement and promise. India, in my view, is at the threshold of a second revolution as far as communication and broadcasting is concerned. The opportunities that beckon us are huge, the financial returns attractive, and the likely developmental rewards for the nation, including the common man, enormous. How successfully we see this opportunity will depend on how well we, the government and the industry, are able to think and work together with understanding, synergy, and harmony. Mark Twain once lamented, "I was seldom able to see an opportunity until it had ceased to be one." We can perhaps well do without this lament. I think it's a moment of optimism and progress. And let me end by quoting Farag Gorakhpuri, a couplet which Mr. Amit Khanna was kind enough to really mention in the last CII conference in August. And I like it very much, and I think it's very appropriate. And it says, "Kuch कफस की तीलियों से छन रहा है नूर सा, कुछ कफस की तीलियों से छन रहा है नूर सा, कुछ फिजा कुछ हसरते परवाज की बातें करें." Thank you very much.